A very good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming here tonight to remember and celebrate the life of my husband, Fan Yew Teng. My heartfelt thanks to Mr. Lim Kit Siang for all the support that you have shown to our family, and also for offering to host this very special evening session. My very deep appreciation goes to Dr. Chen Man Hin, whose presence and kind words have been a great comfort to me and to my family. And thank you to Kapil Singh, Lim Guan Eng, for your presence here and for your very touching words, Guan Eng. And thank you to Teresa Kwok, to Ms. Fu, Pastor Daniel, family and friends, and everyone who has helped to make this evening very special and very possible. Dear friends, family members, the best way of describing the life of Fan Yew Teng is in the words of Bertrand Russell, one of his favorite writers. I quote, "Three passions, simple but overwhelmingly strong, have governed my life: the longing for love, the search for knowledge, and the unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind." Dear friends, you already know about Fan Yew Teng's political and public life, and there really is nothing more that I can add or to take away. Let me therefore share with you the beginning and the end of our cycle together. We met, as some of you saw in the pictures, as young idealists in the mountains of Salzburg, attending meetings of the Democratic Socialist Movement. He, as the acting Secretary General of the Democratic Action Party in Malaysia, and I, as the International Secretary of the Democratic Socialist Club of the University of Singapore. He was the youngest and most vocal member of parliament at that time at 26, and I, a student leader of 20. We were both engaged with the debates and urgencies of our time, finding the third way, coming out of colonialism to build strong and viable nation states based on justice and on equality. Fan was a romantic at heart. He would send me flowers every week. And Jenny, I know that he got to know you because he kept buying flowers for me till today, and wrote to me numerous letters and poems. And when I needed him in Cambridge while I was doing my PhD, he left everything at the heights of his career and came. I discovered to my shock that he did not like to fly. So he began his voyage over land and sea, from Port Klang to Madras, across India, Pakistan, over the Khyber Pass in Afghanistan, to Iran, Turkey, and by bus to Cambridge. He did all this in the middle of winter to be reunited with me after our marriage and to support me throughout my PhD. Just as he took risks and made great sacrifices for our love, Yew Teng was always ready to take the same risks to fight for social justice and the principles he believed in and wanted to live by. He lived a simple life with his typewriter, his bicycle, and his pipe, agreeing with Mahatma Gandhi that there is enough for all our needs, but not for our greed. He was aware of how his choices were often distressing and at times very disruptive to our family, especially when we had our children. But he also knew that the principles for which he fought were the very foundations upon which we wanted to build our family. Yew Teng committed his life to working towards a better Malaysia, a Malaysia that values and takes care of all its people, a Malaysia for Malaysians, a Malaysia where there would be space for debates and critiques on all matters of public interest, for he believed that it was through such processes that members of a society supported each other in ethical development. worked towards greater inclusion and responsibility, and learned to hold each other accountable. He believed firmly that absolute power corrupts, and saw it as his duty to constantly speak truth to power. During the last 5 months of Yew Teng's life, when he was totally bedridden, his spiritual strength, as Pastor Daniel has mentioned, kept him patient and at peace. He was never a trouble to care for. His sense of humor and his engagement with the world continued to his last days. It was he who warned me of the cholera outbreak and the arrival of Hurricane Thomas in Haiti when my daughter Lillian was working there. Even though he was very ill, he was so selfless that he told both daughters to continue with their lives. Lillian in Haiti helping with the reconstruction after the earthquake, and Pauline completing her graduate studies at the University of Oxford, and he was very proud of her and of Lillian. Even when he went in and out of consciousness, his thoughts were about others. One such day, he said to me, "Nolene, there are still so many people in cages. Please help to free them." And I had to tell him, "I'll try, Yew Teng." With Yew Teng in and out of the ICU, I worried about the declining quality of his life. His response was, "I have quality of life when I am with you." His last words to me the night before he died was, "I love you very much, and I love our children very much." He passed away the next afternoon with Lillian and I at his side. Dear friends, let me end with the last stanza from W.H. Auden's poem in memory of W.B. Yeats, which captures for me the essence of our union and both our hopes for humanity. In the deserts of the heart, let the healing fountain start. In the prison of his days, teach the free man how to praise. Fan Yew Teng, rest in peace. Thank you all for your support and sharing this time with my daughters and me. Have a good evening.
The funeral service for Saudara Fan was held in Bangkok last month, and now we would like to present to you this short video clip of the proceeding. Next, I would like to invite Saudara Fan Yew Teng's daughter, Lily Ann Fan, to say a few words. She is currently the Housing and Land Coordinator of Haiti Shelter Cluster at the International Federation of Red Cross.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank all of you for your presence here today, to the leaders of the DAP, to the leaders of ABIM, to all friends and family who have come to be here tonight to honor the life of my beloved father, Fan Yew Teng. I was at my father's side when he passed away peacefully on 7th of December at Bumrungrad International Hospital in Bangkok. He had been diagnosed with advanced cancer at the same hospital almost a year ago. Finding words after the loss of a father is one of the hardest things to do. And yet, our family has been receiving a healing river of words from near and far, from Papa's many friends, many men and women whose hearts he had touched through his life, many of you here today. These words have brought us strength and comfort through our grief, and for this we are deeply grateful. As a father, Papa was truly a blessing. He was a constant inspiration and an absolute joy. He was deeply loving and devoted to our family. He had a tendency to sometimes be protective, but he was always persistently provocative, incessantly reminding my sister and I to live boldly, to never be afraid of pushing boundaries in the name of our principles and our dreams. Since we were very young, Papa was our principal source of cultural exposure and civilizational education. He introduced us to the music of Edith Piaf and Kulthum, to the writings of Rabindranath Tagore and Hannah Arendt. His mind was epic and encyclopedic, philosophical and poetic. His historical memory, as impressive as his passion for justice, was inextinguishable. Papa was through and through a public intellectual. Like the philosophers of ancient Greece, Papa believed that the hallmark of a citizen was versatility in knowledge and a constant striving for the advancement of one's political community. He disdained material wealth and believed that, in the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is the mind that makes men rich. He was deeply concerned with the dilemmas of his time, first and foremost here in Malaysia, but also internationally. He was fiercely independent and preferred to stand outside of society's institutions to raise ethical questions and critique from a position of total impartiality. As we were growing up, Papa would read us drafts of his political articles, fresh off the carriage of his beloved typewriter. And this was a significant source of our education on local and international politics. He also involved us in many of his anti-war campaigns, from his mobilization against the Gulf War to his peace and solidarity activities for Bosnia, Burma, East Timor, Sri Lanka, and many other places. He even took us to the ABIM office and the Senfi's office very often with the Saudara Anwar Tahir and Saudara Anwar Kamal. Papa's solidarity struggles for justice and democracy around the world have influenced deeply my own work on peace, human rights, and respect for humanitarian law, as it was he who taught me that each of us has a responsibility to speak up against injustice in every manifestation. When I began my work with refugees from Aceh in 1999, Papa was strongly supportive, always ready to participate in a campaign, to offer me strategic advice, or a lesson in political history, just as he was when my work later took me to Burma and now to Haiti. Even as he mastered the power of the spoken word and the written word, Papa grew increasingly to respect the power of the sacred word and of prayer. He indeed became a spiritual mentor to us as well. His daily practice taught us in a very direct way the meaning of faith. When he was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer almost exactly a year ago, He accepted his condition with courage and with grace, and prepared himself for the last phase of his life. Through his months of illness, Papa would continue to be more concerned by the suffering of others than his own. He hardly ever complained about his own condition, and he only regretted that his illness limited his ability to defend those still suffering from oppression. I miss Papa more than words could ever express, but I know that he is free, at peace, and that he is now in the heart of God. We know that he is and always will be present with us, protecting, guiding, and loving us. To have had him as a father has been my greatest honor. To be his daughter has been my greatest joy. And it is with profound reverence that we inherit his vision and his dreams and assume the responsibility of keeping his legacy live. I know it would have been his hope that each of you, in your own way, continue to work towards a Malaysian Malaysia, a nation founded on justice, democracy, and accountability to each and every one of its citizens, compassionate to those who seek refuge upon our shores, a model of pluralism in an increasingly divided world. He would have wanted each of us to keep fighting against the blatant inequality and discrimination that has been so institutionalized in our legal, political, social, and economic institutions, to resist and uproot the decay that has taken root in our political culture, to keep on walking the long road to justice, democracy, and true independence. Let us keep him alive. Let us keep his dream alive. Let the struggle continue. Thank you.